Since I have the attention span of an unsupervised 12-year-old, I usually don't watch any anime when it's airing. I did hear a lot about Tower of God during its 13-week broadcast, which led to me checking it out recently. Although I am aware the Tower of God is a Korean manhwa which started in 2010 on Webtoon, I'm gonna review it as though it is any other anime that I've seen. So, should you watch it? Yes, you should, and I'll tell you why. The show is about a boy named Bam who is isolated from society until he meets a girl named Rachel. Bam learns about how the world works from Rachel and looks up to her, but she decides to leave him and climb the illustrious Tower of God, a tower which fulfills the desires of those who climb it. Typically, the tower summons regulars, people who were chosen by the tower to climb it, but sometimes, people open the gates of the tower themselves. They are called irregulars and have great powers. Bam, an irregular, decides to find Rachel in the tower. Those who want to climb the tower are tested on its many floors to determine if they are worthy of climbing it. I'm not gonna lie, I got intense Hunter exam vibes from the different tests and the test administrators. The test administrators are rankers, people who have climbed to the top of the tower, similar to the Hunter examiners who are elite hunters. This season is basically the Hunter exam arc from Hunter x Hunter, so the characters all go through a series of tests. The show thrusts the viewer into this world with little exposition, which allows for a greater connection to Bam as he and the viewer learn about the world simultaneously. There are a few issues with the story though. Some of the aspects of the world, such as the different positions that the characters have in the tower, are quickly introduced and glossed over. Similarly, some of the trials weren't explained as in-depth as I hoped, but it might just be that I'm too thick-skulled to comprehend their rules. I did find the story to be very interesting, and was invested in the many mysteries of the tower and Bam. Let's talk about the characters. This anime has a diverse and likable cast of characters with unique personalities and backstories. The protagonist, Bam, is timid but highly determined to succeed in the various trials he takes part in order to accomplish his main goal of being reunited with Rachel. He deems dying better than giving up and has some hidden power as he is an irregular. I mean, he is the main character after all. Regulars are people who have lived in the tower their whole lives. The other tower climbing hopefuls are all regulars, some of which Bam becomes friends with later on. Another main character in Tower of God is Kun, who reminds me a lot of Killua, another Hunter x Hunter character. They're both intelligent characters with flawed familial relations. Kun's mantra is to make your own rule and go against the tower's rule. Initially, Kun associates himself with Bam because Bam has the Black March, one of the 13 swords of King Jahad, which he receives in episode 1. Kun undergoes a lot of character development through the series as, at first he is wary of people, but soon after he learns to trust them. Rak is an anthropomorphic being who despises being called an alligator despite closely resembling one, and is a self-proclaimed hunter of people with the swords of Jahad. He joins Bam and Kun as a trio because he is convinced that he'll be able to fight a strong Bam after they progress through the tower. Other characters such as Anak, Hats, and Shibisu are originally comic relief characters, but they develop into much more. Most of the characters that have any emphasis on them at all have depth. Let's talk about the art. I'm not an art expert or anything, but hoo-wee, is it refreshing to see something other than this. The aesthetic of Tower of God resembles that of Shintani's Dragon Ball style, and the rough lines around the characters give off a hand-drawn vibe. The simpler art style meshes extremely well with the fluidity of the animation that is especially apparent during action sequences. Similarly, small details such as when Bam tries to break the ball during the first test and a flashback of him trying to break out of the cave he was in before meeting Rachel provide thematic contrast and interlace Bam's motivations with his goal. The art style changes for comedic effect multiple times during the show, and I found it quite appropriate and effective. The backgrounds are also very nice to look at. The character designs are all unique, unlike some other anime. Let's talk about the music. This anime has a great soundtrack with many atmospheric tracks, such as I found that all of the tracks used fit the scene really well. Check this out.
テストはまだ始まってもいませんよ。どうなってるの？なんでボールが割れないのよ。そう私に言われましても。あんた何を企んでるの？バレろ。
The sound design was also on point. We can't forget about the opening and ending, which are both bangers. Here are my final thoughts. Tower of God has a great balance of action, comedy,
玉座を守れば済む話だろう。俺の剣術とお前の殺人武術で。殺人武術？
mystery, and even the feels, man.
待って、今そっちに行く。そっか。じゃあ何も覚えてないのね。それは怖いよね。けどもう大丈夫。私がついているから。
As an anime only, I would definitely recommend watching it, and if you like it, I would suggest reading the webtoon to see how good of an adaptation it was for yourself. I'd give it 4 bams out of a bomb.